Of all the big African predators, if there were a scale to rank them for being absolute badasses, the African leopard would definitely claim a few spots near the top. As one of the continent's top 5 apex predators, this cat is built for domination. It's got a nasty, crushing bite, unreal stealth, and a ridiculous amount of raw muscle packed into a compact, efficient frame. It can climb like it's nothing, swim when it needs to, run at breakneck speed, and pull off some of the most precise chases, maneuvers, stalks, and ambushes you will ever see. Basically, when a leopard locks eyes on something, it usually gets it. But with all that going for it, how often do you see one of the deadliest cats on the continent running for its life and scrambling up a tree like it saw a ghost? This is the arrival of an unrelenting maniac. A killer, a scavenger so terrifying even apex predators hesitate to cross its path. With a bone-crushing bite that doesn't care whether the target's dead or alive, this powerhouse of a predator tears through anything in its way, takes on some of the fiercest hunters on the planet, steals their hard-earned kill, and holds its ground in lands and their conditions that are anything but forgiving. Meet the nightmare of the killer cats, the brown hyena. Not long ago, experts working along the southern coast of Africa came across the skull of an ancient human female with 3 massive canine punctures carved into the bone that appeared to have healed naturally over the course of several years. When compared with the bite force and tooth patterns of predators from that region, the marks line up with that of ancient hyenas. And the fact that the wounds had healed suggested that the woman had been alive during the attack, had survived it, and continued to live for several more years after that encounter. This brutal discovery not only speaks volumes of how tough and physically resilient early humans really were, it also gives us a glimpse into just how savage and life-threatening their clashes with wild predators could have been. And while that ancient battle between man and hyena still lingers in a few remote corners of the world, today, the odds now lean more in the favor of humans than hyenas. But we'll come back to that later in the video. First, let's give these notorious scavengers the introduction they deserve. Hyena brunea, also known as the brown hyena or strandwolf, is a species native to parts of southern, southwestern, and south-central Africa. It makes its home in a wide range of harsh environments, and from desert and semi-desert areas to open woodland savannas, coastal stretches, and even rugged mountainous terrain. Being the sole member of its genus, it is the rarest species of hyena to exist, and its strange, ragged appearance makes that hard to forget. To begin with, it has a sloped back, with its front legs noticeably longer than the hind legs, giving it an uneven, hunched posture and a walking gait just as weird. The legs themselves are oddly thin and striped with brown and white patches, almost looking like they belong to a completely different animal. On top of that, there is a sharply defined head with pointed ears and a muzzle that appears a little too narrow compared to the rest of the body. From the top of the head to the tip of the scruffy, low-hanging tail, the brown hyena's mismatched frame can reach up to 76 inches in length and stand 31 inches tall at the shoulder, weighing somewhere between 83 to 96 pounds. But what really completes their wild, bizarre appearance is the shaggy, brownish fur that hangs around their neck and shoulders like a messy mane. These hairs can grow up to 12 inches long and are erectile, meaning that the hyena can raise them whenever it wants, giving off an even more unusual, almost intimidating vibe. Being primarily a scavenger, this strange feature, while seeming like just part of its normal outlook, is actually a smart tactic to avoid direct conflict while stealing kills from other predators. A brown hyena, walking with its awkward gait, spiky, raised fur, and nasty-looking mouth, is creepy enough of a sight to make the predator standing over a kill back off. Similarly, when a much larger threat like a lion, where it wouldn't stand a chance otherwise, this unusual look buys it just enough time. While the big cats pause, trying to figure out what they're even looking at, the brown hyena either slips away or manages to snatch the kill for itself. This lion pride stumbled upon a brown hyena calmly drinking at a pond. If it had been a spotted hyena, the lions probably wouldn't have hesitated to start a fight right away. But this wasn't a typical encounter. The pride seemed confused, cautiously eyeing the strange creature and keeping a noticeable distance. And when one of the lions finally stepped forward, the brown hyena snapped back at it aggressively, then kept drinking like it owned the place. However, no matter how menacing, looks aren't always enough, especially when living among some of the most inhospitable lands on the planet and the predators that come with it. So, for situations that call for more, the brown hyena comes equipped with a set of reinforced teeth that are just as nasty. The large skull and powerful jaw muscles help it generate a massive bite force of up to 1,100 psi, or 4,500 newtons, which not only allows it to crack through bones and reach the marrow within minutes, but also gives it the upper hand in skirmishes it often finds itself in, forcing the other predators to retreat. This leopard was in the middle of feeding on its cached kill under a bush when it spotted a brown hyena approaching. With an incredibly sharp sense of smell, a brown hyena can pick up the scent of a carcass from miles away. At first, the big cat tried to hold its ground by growling and baring its teeth, but seeing the hyena locked in and growling right back, the leopard quickly figured the best move was to back off, knowing it couldn't afford to deal with a brown hyena's brutal bite. Meanwhile, this poor guy didn't even wait for the hyena to get close. Just spotting the scruffy scavenger walking in was enough to send it running. With leopards in particular, brown hyenas seem to have a strange kind of vendetta. Even when there's no kill to fight over, just the sight of a leopard is enough to set a hyena off. It chases the cat down relentlessly until the only option left is to scramble up a tree. This leopard was just lounging around, minding its own business, when a brown hyena strolled in, fur raised, posture stiff, sending out every signal of a threat. The leopard didn't wait long. It made a dash for the nearest tree, barely avoiding what could have been a brutal bite. Interestingly, the same thing can play out even when a leopard actually has something to defend. When a hyena wants the leopard's kill, the big cat has to race up a tree, this time dragging its prey between its jaws to keep both itself and the kill safe. This absolute dominance doesn't just stop at leopards. Cheetahs, on the other hand, don't do much better against brown hyenas. This ruthless hyena raided the half-eaten kill of 2 hungry cheetahs, who could do nothing but watch as the scavenger walked off with their meal, completely victorious. Stealing kills, though, isn't an option all the time. When prey becomes scarce or other predators tighten their hold, the brown hyena is left to fend for itself. And on its own, it's a poor hunter. It can barely get by on small kills like springbok or bat-eared foxes, along with some rodents, insects, the eggs of small birds, and even fruits and fungus. On coastal stretches, it does manage to pick off seal cubs that are left alone on the shore while the mothers head out to sea, quickly snatching them and disappearing before the adults return. Once it's done feeding, its highly specialized digestive system takes over. Brown hyenas can break down a wide range of animal matter, including their skin, teeth, and even bones with ease. There are reports from campers claiming that they've seen these hyenas chewing through aluminum pots and pans without hesitation. Not only that, in some cases, brown hyenas have even been suspected of feeding on human bones, pulling them out of graves. And while modern sightings usually involve already dead bodies, ancient hyenas have supposedly attacked live humans as well, sometimes causing serious harm. The female skull found in southern Africa with hyena bite marks showed that the injury was so severe, it would have likely impaired her ability to eat, speak, or even think properly. The extent of the damage suggested that some rescue or intervention may have been necessary for her to survive. On the other hand, however, there's also evidence that humans also butchered and ate hyenas, pointing to a brutal rivalry between 2 predators fighting for space, food, and survival. To this day, that conflict still exists in some form, even though the modern brown hyena is no longer considered that much of a threat to humans. Thriving on carrion, hyenas often linger near human settlements, drawn to the carcasses of livestock that died, sometimes from disease, sometimes from other predators. But they are frequently blamed for the kills and end up being hunted by farmers, even though they may have just arrived after the animal was already dead. Apart from that, In several regions, different body parts of brown hyenas are still used in traditional medicine and rituals. This relentless human persecution remains the biggest threat to their survival. Today, brown hyenas are listed as near threatened on the IUCN Red List, with an estimated population of just 4,000 to 10,000 individuals left in the wild. Part of the reason their numbers remain so low is due to their slow and limited reproduction. In most cases, only the dominant female hyena in a clan produces a litter, and that too just once every 20 months. While they don't follow a fixed breeding season, their mating activity typically peaks during the African dry months, from May to August. During this period, dominant males mate with all receptive females within the clan, and sometimes even with solitary females that wander close to their territory. Once mating is complete, these males become highly territorial and aggressively guard their range from outsiders. However, interestingly enough, experts have repeatedly observed situations where males and females of the same clan show no interest in mating with each other. In fact, in such cases, females often choose to mate with nomadic males instead, while the resident males show no resistance at all. What's more surprising is when the female eventually gives birth, those same males often help raise the cubs alongside her. A newborn brown hyena cub is born blind, and it stays that way for the first 8 days. It remains inside the den for up to 14 months, during which the mother, along with both males and females in the clan, nurse and feed it. By around 30 months of age, the brown hyena reaches its full size and becomes sexually mature, and from there, it goes on to live a rugged life, lasting anywhere between 12 to 15 years in the wild. Speaking of wild, though, remember, these are the same creatures that'll babysit the cubs of a wandering stranger and raid human graves, probably on the same day. A little too gentle and nasty at the same time, isn't it? What do you think? Should we be worried about their declining numbers, or start putting fences around our cemeteries first, just in case? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below, down, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.